How to Act When a Woman Ignores You, Destroy Her Ego, Stoicism, Old Stoic Wisdom. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. Let me ask you something. Have you ever found yourself waiting on a reply from a woman who's clearly online, clearly active, just not replying to you? You see her posting, sharing, living her life, but your message? Left in silence. That silence can feel like a punch to the gut. You start thinking maybe you were too forward, too soft, too eager. You rewind every conversation, analysing it like a puzzle, wondering what you did wrong. But here's what no one tells you. Her silence isn't really about you. It's a mirror showing you where your focus truly lies. And if your power lies in her hands, you're playing the wrong game. In this moment, the most powerful thing you can do is nothing. Not the passive, insecure kind of nothing, but the calm, confident nothing of a man who knows his worth. Because here's the truth. Women test men. Not always consciously. Sometimes it's instinctual. But silence is a test, and your reaction is the answer. If you panic, chase, or beg for her attention, you lose. If you remain centered, self-possessed, and unbothered, you win. And you win big. Stoicism teaches this with surgical precision. External events, her silence, her games, her mood swings, are not yours to control. But your response? That's where your kingdom lies. A stoic man doesn't react emotionally to every little wind that blows. He stands like a mountain, calm, grounded, and immovable. So when she ignores you, don't collapse into overthinking. Don't scroll through old texts trying to decode a message that was never about truth, but about control. Instead, flip the script. You don't chase, you detach. You don't beg, you build, you don't wait, you walk. A woman who is truly interested won't need to manipulate your attention through silence. And a man of value, one who operates from self-respect and inner calm, never lets silence shake his foundation. The moment you stop letting her silence define your worth, you rise above the game. You step into the mindset of a stoic king, commanding your life, your energy, and your destiny without ever needing her validation. Remember, you are not here to entertain her tests. You are here to master yourself. What to do when a woman ignores you? First, let's get one thing absolutely clear. The Stoics taught us that peace comes from understanding what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. You cannot control whether she texts back, whether she ghosts you, or whether she chooses to play mind games. But you can, and must, control how you respond. When a woman ignores you, don't react emotionally. Don't double text, and for God's sake, don't try to convince her of your worth. Do nothing. That's not weakness, that's strength. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is your stoic edge. When she goes silent, don't fill that silence with insecurity. Fill it with power. Power in restraint, power in dignity, power in letting her wonder. When you do nothing, you shift the dynamic. You're showing her that you're not affected, not shaken, not desperate for validation. You're not like other men who beg for attention. You're grounded. Now think back to a time when a woman stopped replying after things seemed to be going great. Maybe you went on a good date. Maybe the texting was fun, and then, boom, radio silence. Your mind wants to chase, but your spirit, your stoic core, it tells you to pause. Let her be the one to notice your absence. Let her be the one who replays the conversations in her mind. The truth is, when you stop chasing, you create space. And in that space, curiosity grows. Women notice when a man doesn't react the way others do. They begin to wonder, why isn't he chasing me? And that's when the power flips. You're no longer in the palm of her hand, she's in yours. He who angers you conquers you, said Elizabeth Kenny. But if she cannot even get a rise out of you by ignoring you, what does that say about your inner strength? Let her see that your world doesn't revolve around her replies. Your life is full, your schedule packed with ambition, your energy devoted to your purpose, your heart anchored in peace. If she doesn't come back, so be it. You've already leveled up, mentally, physically, emotionally. You've replaced desperation with discipline. And that, my friend, is stoic freedom. So next time she pulls back, don't follow. Stand still. Watch the silence echo with your strength. Now tell me this. Have you ever used silence as a weapon of strength instead of reacting? Drop your story in the comments. Let's talk power, not pity. 1. Shift the focus back to you. Here's your first and most powerful move when she ignores you. Shift the entire focus back to you. Not halfway. Fully. Her silence is not your cue to fall apart. It's your invitation to rise. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is exactly that moment. Her lack of response? That's noise. But your response to yourself, that's where the real power is. Instead of replaying texts or stalking her online activity, pour that same energy into your evolution. Hit the gym, not because you want to impress her, but because your body deserves strength. Pick up that project you shelved last year. Learn a skill that makes you proud when you look in the mirror. Surround yourself with people who celebrate your growth. Women sense energy, and nothing is more magnetic than a man who is locked in on his purpose. Desperation repels, purpose attracts. The more you invest in yourself, the more you become immune to her games. You stop reacting emotionally and start moving with intention. When you become the kind of man who doesn't flinch when he's ignored, you flip the dynamic entirely. She becomes the one wondering why you're so unfazed. You don't chase women who pull away. You chase mastery, legacy, and freedom. And ironically, that's when they chase you. Don't waste this silence. Use it as fuel. Turn her rejection into a reason to become better, smarter, sharper. Like Seneca taught, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Don't waste another second overthinking her behavior. Become your mission, become your focus. And when she finally looks back, let her find a man she no longer has access to. What's the one thing you will do today to shift your focus back to you? Comment below. I want to hear your game plan. 2. Use reverse psychology. Reverse psychology, when deployed with calm precision, is one of the most powerful tools a modern Stoic man can wield in the silent war of attention. When a woman ignores you, the natural instinct for most men is to chase, to clarify, to seek validation. But not you, not anymore. Old Stoic wisdom teaches us that true power lies in our ability to remain unaffected. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When she withdraws, your response must be rooted not in emotion, but in restraint. You do not chase, not because you're playing games, but because you have a life that commands your full presence. Imagine the scenario: you've texted her, maybe even twice, and still silence. This is where most men unravel. But the modern Stoic lets go. He turns his energy inward. He posts his wins not to provoke, but to stay aligned with his mission. He hits the gym, refines his craft, nurtures his purpose, and does it all without announcing it. Meanwhile, she watches. She notices. And slowly, uncertainty creeps into her mind. Why isn't he chasing? Did I lose his interest? Who is he talking to? This quiet reversal of power is the essence of Stoic control. No confrontation, no emotional explosion, just disciplined indifference. And when she finally reaches out, as many do when their ego feels the absence of attention, your reply is calm, unfazed, and light. You do not seek explanations, nor do you offer them. You don't mention the silence because it no longer defines you. The strength of reverse psychology is not manipulation. It's magnetism, born from self-respect. In today's world of instant gratification, the man who can withhold his attention is a man who commands curiosity. And curiosity, my friend, is the seed of attraction. Remember, a woman's silence is not your cue to beg, it's your chance to shine quietly. The one who chases loses value. The one who remains centered multiplies it. So ask yourself, are you reacting or are you responding like a Stoic? Comment below. I am the calm in the storm. Let's see how many true Stoics walk among us. 3. Stay calm and unbothered. When a woman ignores you, most men make the fatal mistake of letting their emotions explode, panicking, overthinking, chasing, sending multiple texts, or worse, throwing their dignity out the window just to get attention. But here's the truth. The moment you react emotionally, you've already handed over your power. You've shown her she controls your state of mind. And when that happens, you become predictable, weak, and easy to manipulate. The Stoics had a different way. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's exactly the mindset you must embody. Don't pretend not to care, genuinely stop caring. Understand that your worth isn't tied to a read receipt, a missed call, or the silence of another person. When she pulls back, you pull inward. Redirect your energy. Go for a run with fire in your legs. Hit the weights with purpose. Build your business, sharpen your skills, and feed your purpose like a lion that refuses to starve. Every moment of her silence should be a spark that reminds you to turn back to your mission. Because this isn't about her. It never was. This is about you becoming a man who is unmoved by external chaos. A man who never begs, never breaks, and never bases his confidence on someone else's validation. That is what makes you dangerous in the best way. That is what makes you unforgettable. Women aren't drawn to neediness. They're drawn to mystery, to men who don't crumble, to men who walk away with peace in their eyes and a plan in their heart. That kind of emotional mastery isn't just attractive, it's legendary. In today's world, where everyone is oversharing, overreacting, and overreaching, be the one who stays centered. Be the storm inside the calm. Let her wonder why you didn't chase. Let her ego collapse under the silence of your self-control. Let her curiosity grow in the absence of your attention. This is reverse psychology at its finest. When you stop reacting, she starts questioning. When you stop needing, she starts noticing. This is not game playing. This is wisdom, old, powerful, and rare. So the next time you get ignored, remember, the game isn't won with noise. It's won in silence. Now, here's your move. Like this video if you felt the power of staying calm. Comment below. I am the man who doesn't crumble. And if you're ready to master the art of unshakable confidence, subscribe now, because this is just the beginning. 4. Detach from the outcome. When a woman ignores you, your power lies not in begging for a response, but in mastering your reaction. That's where ancient Stoic wisdom becomes your sharpest weapon. The ultimate move, the one that separates the emotionally resilient man from the needy, is simple but profound. Detach from the outcome. Whether she responds or not, whether her silence is a test, a game, or genuine disinterest, it no longer shakes you. You stand firm, because your sense of worth is no longer held hostage by someone else's attention. Detachment is not indifference, it's discipline. It means you've chosen to care more about your own peace than her unpredictable mood swings. As Epictetus once said, we suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them. So, stop giving your power away to her silence. The man who learns to let go of the outcome becomes unshakable, because nothing external defines his internal state. That's true strength. It's not about being cold, it's about being centered. You can still want her, you can still hope she responds, but your value doesn't hinge on it. When you no longer flinch, you become a mystery. And mystery is magnetic. This is the quiet confidence that drives women wild. They feel it when a man is calm under pressure, when he doesn't break his composure to chase, when his mind is still while others are restless. In today's world, where instant gratification is worshipped, detachment is rebellion. It's spiritual and psychological warfare, and it's how you win. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." So be brave enough to detach, brave enough to trust that if she's meant to come closer, she will, And if not, you're still whole, still evolving, still focused on your mission. The moment you detach from her reaction, you destroy her control. That's the paradox. When you stop needing her validation, that's when she starts seeking yours. Brothers, ask yourself, are you chasing peace or chasing people? Because one will elevate you, the other will exhaust you. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever experienced a moment when detachment brought you unexpected power or clarity? Let's talk about it below. 5. Upgrade in silence. Let her absence build your empire. When a woman ignores you, most men make the fatal mistake of shrinking. They fall into overthinking, emotional desperation, and reactive behavior. But a Stoic man sees that silence not as a rejection, but as an invitation to rise. The real power move isn't to beg for attention or seek validation, it's to disappear into discipline. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. So when she withdraws, don't chase, build. Let her absence be the fire beneath your transformation. Every moment she remains distant is a moment for you to upgrade in silence. Go to the gym, get your finances in order, read more, refine your skill set, and elevate your environment. While she's watching stories, you're building an empire. While she's sending mixed signals, you're sending a message without words. I don't need you to become great. True silence isn't passive, it's strategic. Think of it as a forge, and you are the iron. The Stoics used adversity as sharpening stones. Use her silence to chisel your body, mind, and soul into a man so refined, so focused, so high in value, that her ego shatters under the weight of your presence alone. You don't need to remind her what she lost. You become the type of man that can no longer be ignored. As Epictetus once said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your reaction? Pure progress. No emotional outbursts, no begging, just undeniable improvement. Let your new physique, your rising income, your unshakable aura speak volumes. Let her wonder, not what you're doing, but who you've become. Because growth makes noise, even in silence, and the louder your life gets, the more deafening your absence becomes to her. As James Allen once said, men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. Be the man who does both. Elevate in the dark, win in silence, and when she finally looks back, let her see a man who became untouchable. Comment below, I build when ignored. Share your story, your mission, your vision. Let's remind every man out there that silence is not the end. It's the beginning of reinvention. 6. Master the art of presence. Disappear with power. Mastering the art of presence doesn't always mean showing up with strength. It often means withdrawing with dignity. When a woman ignores you, your first instinct might be to chase, to explain, to prove your worth. But that's not the path of a Stoic. A Stoic man, grounded in timeless wisdom, understands that his energy is sacred and his presence is not a gift to be wasted on the ungrateful. So instead of reacting emotionally, he executes the most powerful move of all. He disappears. Not in bitterness, not in defeat, but in absolute command. He pulls back not only his words, but his energy, his attention, his essence. Because here's the truth. Your attention is your currency. And if you keep spending it in places where there's no interest, you end up bankrupt, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. The ancient Stoics taught that self-respect is the highest form of discipline. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say, or think, or do, only what you do. So stop giving away your presence so cheaply. Withdraw it like a king leaving a room full of noise, silent, composed, unshaken. Let her feel your absence the way she once basked in your attention. That absence, it's not emptiness, it's a powerful vacuum that draws attention without you having to lift a finger. You're not being petty, you're being sovereign. You didn't vanish out of insecurity. You left because you refuse to dwell where you're not cherished. In modern life, This means stop checking her posts, don't wait on her texts, and certainly don't beg for her attention. Reinvest that energy in yourself, level up your body, your business, your mission, because once you become unreachable, something changes. You're no longer part of her game, you've stepped out of the arena. And when she finally realizes your silence isn't a tactic, it's a transformation, that's when the power shifts. Disappear like a warrior who has better wars to win. As Lao Tzu said, "When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be." Let go of needing her to validate you. Because the truth is, the moment you disappear with power, you stop being a man she can manipulate and become a man she cannot forget. So if you're ready to reclaim your presence, drop this in the comments. My absence has value. Let her feel what she chose to ignore, and let your silence speak volumes. 7. Control the frame. She's not the prize. You are. When a woman ignores you, the weak man gets trapped in a mental loop, craving her validation, waiting for her to respond, as if her attention somehow determines his worth. But the man who lives by Old Stoic Wisdom knows better. He doesn't chase, he reframes. This isn't about why isn't she replying. This is about, is she even qualified to have me in her life? The one who controls the frame controls the power. And let me be very clear, she is not the prize. You are. Your time is valuable. Your attention is sacred. Your ambition, your masculinity, your vision, that is the real treasure. You don't hand out access to your energy like it's free candy. You decide who's worthy. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. When you truly grasp that, everything shifts. Your body language changes. Your silence becomes powerful. Your absence starts to speak louder than any message she could have ignored. And that, my friend, is where her ego begins to crumble, not because you argued or explained, but because you withdrew your light. You see, most men beg for attention because they've forgotten who they are. But you're not most men. You're a man who commands respect without needing to ask for it. The moment you stop trying to prove your worth and instead stand in it, her world will feel that void, not because you played games, but because you walked away with dignity. That's stoic dominance. That's psychological leverage. That's how legends move. So let her feel your silence. Let her wonder. Let her ego ache for the validation it used to get from you. Remember, in every interaction, the one who needs nothing holds the power. Reverse psychology in full effect, you don't chase her, and suddenly she starts chasing your absence. That's the paradox. That's the flex. Now drop a comment below and stamp this truth into your mind. I am the prize. Say it, own it, become it. And if you felt the fire in this message, hit like, subscribe for more stoic dominance, and share this with another man who needs to be reminded of his value. Don't wait. Don't shrink. Rise and let the world adjust. Thanks for watching, my friend. Remember this. When a woman ignores you, most men fall apart, but not you. Because now you've seen the stoic path. You don't chase. You don't beg. You don't react. You rise. You sharpen your presence, your purpose, and your power. That silence she gave you, you turned it into strength, into clarity, into fuel. My sincere advice? Don't just use this once. Make it a way of life. Build the discipline, embrace the calm, take back the frame, not just in relationships, but in everything. If this spoke to you, hit subscribe and join a brotherhood of men who live with strength, stoic clarity, and unshakable presence. And let me ask you, are you the man who reacts or the man who rebuilds in silence? Drop your answer in the comments. I'll be watching.